Steve Austin might be wrestling at WrestleMania, and he might be wrestling your fave.
Mate,
what do you think?
Don't, because I might actually cry. It's like not. I'm not joking. So I found out about that this morning when I woke up. So I did my usual. I snoozed 40 times, and then I was like, right, I'm dangerously close to being late for work, but I'll still find a wee 10 minutes to go through Twitter and read what's happened. So it was doing that, and honestly, I just went onto it and I was like, trending, and I was like, why Stone Cold trending? And you know that way when you see trending and somebody you love's name, I was like,
like you worry at first because you're like, what happened? What has gone terribly wrong?
No, and I was like, bad things have happened. And then it said, it was weird because it said trending and it said with Kevin Owens. And I was like, excuse me? And I was like, has something happened to Kev? What's going on?
Well, because when you see two people like that, then it's like, this might not be terrible then. Because, like, tragic, they weren't in a car together, you know?
Well, I was like, you know, obviously that does kind of like, you see the huge highlighted Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I was like, oh my God, this is not good. Then I was like, with Kevin Owens? And I was like, one moment, please, click. And then I just started scrolling through and there was all these like mock-up posters of WrestleMania and I was like, what the freak has happened here? And then, yeah, that was it. I was just like, if this happens, and it makes sense. That's why Kevin's been bashing Texas for so, like, you know, the past couple of weeks. That's why he's been like, do you know what I mean? It just makes so much freaking sense. Like, imagine this stunner off. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, actually, I'm honestly, we were talking in the group chat earlier, and it was just like, literally, I mean, Ollie and Kenny were just like, we are going to have to actually mop Jen up, like, if this happens. And I was like, sorry, this is quite crass, but I literally went, one of you is going to be taking me home in a body bag because I will not make it. If I was like, if that glass smashes after KO's entrance, I was like, that's me, I'm done. If that's night one, I've wasted a lot of money because I'm not making Raw.
Just hope it at least makes night 2 or something like that so you can enjoy a full night of WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like that. Or even just give me it at Raw so I can go home happy. Like, I just can't, like, I physically can't explain to you. Like, I mean, I think you can tell by my face. Like, I'm so freaking excited about this. Like, and I genuinely do think that it's going to happen. This is the thing. I don't think that they would let Fightful report. It was Fightful, wasn't it? It was Sean.
Fightful broke it first, and then Brian Alvarez. So Fightful said that like they've been reaching out, making significant overtures to Steve Austin, and then Brian Alvarez confirmed that Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens has been discussed. And like after that, it was like Andrew Zarian and like other people were kind of like commenting on the situation too, and saying that it seems like it, you know, like they really want this to happen. This isn't like.
No freaking wonder. Me too. Where do I sign this petition? Because I'm going to get my order in. Like, I'm not joking. I'll give down, like, whatever. I'll give a kidney if I need to. Because I want to see this. I just think... I think it would make so much sense, like, you know, for like seeing the kind of way that Kevin Owens is being like with like Seth and stuff, but yet they still seem to be like pushing Seth like on his own, and it almost feels like Kevin's kind of slightly lost in the mix. Like, he's kind of hanging on, he's doing these wee kind of like, oh, am I actually friends with Seth? Like, because he's like saying he's better than me and stuff. For something like this to happen, this separates him, gets him out as like a singles guy again. I mean, then you can have some sort of reunion with Seth afterwards. I don't care what happens on Raw if we just get that moment.
Well, because if we're hanging Kevin Owens, like if he's kind of hanging out on the side because they're waiting for this to happen, then it makes sense, right? Especially when he was like, I want to wrestle in Texas. Texas is my favorite place in the world. Yes. And then this week they did the poll of like, is Kevin Owens lying? And then he this week was like,
he was
just
Texas.
Like, Texas is the worst. I hate everything about it.
Totally. And then slagging, where were they? Indianapolis, they were in last night. And he's like proper, like, he's like, oh, the only people worse is Indiana. And I was just like, oh, why is he doing all these cheap like heat things?
Yeah, because it's like he's being heel when he's been kind of a tweener recently. So
he is the ultimate tweener as far as I'm concerned. Like, but he never does like super cheap heat stuff. Like, he never goes down that avenue. So if you're going to get him offside with everybody real quick, that's the way to do it, because let's face it, he's going to have to be he's not gonna be face with that glass smashes. Like, it's just gonna be
well, and it's wild because Steve Austin hasn't wrestled in 19 years, right? Like 2003 is the last time that he wrestled, which I know is a retro spoiler for me, but I knew it anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, like he's one of the only people who's like retired and then stayed that way, you know, because Shawn Michaels did for so long, but then he came out of retirement for Saudi Arabia and regrets it wholeheartedly.
I know. Well, I was going to say, I think we all do. Not only us, but his hairline and everything else.
I kind of feel like if Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles ever had that match, that might like redeem the coming out of retirement, because that one has always been the one that like seems really interesting, and I think that like they can both go. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see it though. I think I'm kind of done seeing Shawn wrestle. Like, it's just not. It's not the same. I don't want
it to happen, but like, do you really want his last match to be like the one that he had?
No, I mean, I don't. But the thing is, I think like the beauty with it, like that being Shawn's last match and him being Shawn Michaels, is like you actually don't go to his last match. Mm-hmm. You don't think about that at all. It's not the same as when it was like Taker and Goldberg.
Right.
Like Taker, you had to redeem that because that was I don't know why. Like, arguably, Taker's a bigger star than Shawn Michaels, right? I get.
Well, I think Taker had diminishing returns for so long that
that's it. And the fact that he was so part-time for so long that, you know, that's all you had to base on. But it's, you know, like seeing that had to be redeemed. Goldberg, I'm sorry, but his ego wouldn't let him like do it. And to be fair, I kind of get it. And I kind of understand why he couldn't leave it on that. But Shawn, I kind of think that he kind of got a get out of jail free card with that. Like, yeah, it wasn't great, but we kind of let it slide.
Yeah. And it was a Saudi show, so it wasn't like, I don't know, those kind of have existed outside of canon anyway. Like, that's why Elimination Chamber is so strange that it's taking place in Saudi Arabia, because it feels like it actually matters. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like it could actually have some consequences. I don't know, like, there's obviously the allure of Steve Austin is very exciting, and like the idea of the glass breaking, and I think Kevin Owens would be the perfect opponent for him because, like you said, they can have a stunner off. They can, I don't know, just everything about it seems to fit. So if he's going to come back, he's the one I want him to face.
This is the thing as well, is like you will get, I believe personally, you'll have Kevin Owens like running his mouth like Texas, like the way I plan it, or the way I envision it is like Kevin Owens will run his mouth in my mind, and he will be like that, you know, I've made it all the way here and there's been nothing for me. And he was like, that's why Texas is so crap, because like, you know, there's nothing for me here. Like, I actually, you know, he'll make some sort of healy thing where he was like, I actually turned down matches because I didn't want to wrestle in front of you, like, because there's nobody, you know, that I deem, you know, he'll make something about it. And then when that glass smashes, I can just see like little boy Kevin Owens like pure turn around, and like I think it would be like Austin comes out with the beer and he's like, "You're, hey brother, like don't be saying this," and then just stunner, like get into. I don't think it needs to be like a pure huge match either.
It
like
really
we can do this as a squash. We can do it as a squash, and the thing is, it's not going to hurt like Kevin at all. It's not going to hurt him because it's just that huge nostalgia pop that nobody's actually going to be like. And the thing is, if Kevin Owens is being such an arse on the run up to it, it's going to be comeuppance and it's going to be amazing. And then
well, and like slagging off Texas and stuff the way that he's doing, it's like he obviously wants to have animosity with someone from Texas. Like,
yeah.
It all fits. It seems like they're really building it up on TV. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But like,
I just feel as if there'll be some. I feel like there's going to be something. I mean, I was saying it all along. Like, I think that if it's in Texas, they have to have some form of Austin.
Oh yeah, like him being involved is not a surprise. Yeah. Him being involved in a physical role, that's the surprising thing. Just